Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Political Command Center in London. Viewers, wherever you are in the world, thank you very much for watching our first show, the first part of our shows of the holiday by Miriam Ogut. This time we switch on to the editor's note. This is Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the general headquarters in Nairobi and from the Political Command Center in London. Thank you very much for your patronage. This morning, we have the panel, and we want to assess. We want to get our bullet points to go with. What are we selling today? We are selling, as the editor's memo, the following 4 points. I always get 4 points, narrow them, and put them out to the public. I want to thank my panel, Javan Karanja, Professor Gerard Onyari, Douglas Kirimi, the destroyer of Mogadishu. Thank you very much. And Musa Abidi Haji, the soft-spoken international relations student, learning and still learning. Because he has got quite a lot of years to go, and there are so many things that I see. We want to leave a legacy of people. And back in the studio, our Madam Miriam Ogutu, thank you very much for hosting and guiding these shows. In my absence, you have done a great job. Thank you, and God bless you. Continue doing so. Miriam Ogutu in the studio. Now, strictly 20 minutes. If you see one clicking out, throw me out. And the people that are coming to speak on this, strictly you have also 1.5 minutes only to make your analysis, because you have already spoken most of these words. Musa, cut your analysis, and on Saturday you must challenge Madam, that woman rape of yours from Isiolo. She has gone beyond, and she's speaking a lot of volumes on social media about the BBI. Thank you very much, viewers. If you want to follow us, get yourself, get on the phone, talk to us. The telephone number is +254 795 638 145, Nairobi, Kenya. You can make your contribution to any of these programs holiday while we are connecting you through to us wherever we shall be. We shall hear you. Don't keep quiet. Don't die because you have not talked. There is space for everybody to talk on this show. Now, editor's memo. Thank you very much, Miriam. You canvassed. You crisscrossed all the topics of Kenya's politics, economy, social, and summarized most of them. But here is critical analysis, which I bring in. Point number 1, ideology. Believe one of you hammered a point, ideology. And you asked a very candid question. Is there ideology in Kenyan politics? Between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. The ideology between Raila Odinga and William Ruto is like a distance between Mars and the Venus, or between the Earth and the Mars. You know there is a robot on Mars now looking for water. That is how Ruto can look for water on Mars to find Raila's, to fit in Raila's shoes. Raila is a patriot. Raila is a fighter. Raila is not corrupt. Yes, Raila is a sufferer. He has endured the political malice that has taken place during the Moi regime. He has graduated as a student of Pan-Africanism and as a student of patience and a student of redemption strategy. That's why Raila can cross and shake the hand of a man who had won an election and say, let's work for a better Kenya. So can you put yourself, Musa, in a position where you see Ruto crossing to shake the hand of the winner? Can you? Never. 2007, 2008, who stood on the table, who stood up on the table to beat up Kivutia. You remember that gentleman?
Yes.
You have those pictures? The man who was standing on the table addressing, sparking the whole violence, and the people back at home started killing each other. It was Ruto. So the ideology, when you say the ideology, Miriam will ask the question, is it the same? It is not. Uhuru saw a vision in Raila Odinga, agreed to Raila Odinga to form a handshake and create a BBI. What ideology is there? You can't compare. Ruto's ideology is violence, and the violence alone. That once violence is instilled in the people's minds, Francis Fanon Fiore of the man across the bridge in my country works. He likes, he doesn't like. When you put the election, he says, no, I am going to court, I am withdrawing, I'm going to the bush. That's one point. I hope, Miriam, you agree with me that you talked about ideology. Point number 2, cobbling alliances. Can you cobble an alliance? It follows the ideology. If you don't have the same ideology, can you cobble an alliance? Cobbling, kuweka pamoja. Unaweza weka pamoja oil and the water. Have you seen how they separate very badly? 2 gentlemen on this show are wearing coats. Have you seen a coat touching some parts? Which part of the body does the coat not touch? Have you noticed that? Stand up and see. Put your hand behind there and see which part it doesn't touch. And then you will tell me. However much you squeeze the small tight coat, it will remain in the gap. That is the lower part of the spine. The coat does not. That's how God made people not to look the same. Biologically, you don't look the same. Otherwise, all of us would have coats. Then we would not look very handsome. If you have a coat that touches everywhere, then it's not a coat. It's called a tight shirt, a tight cloth, a tight vest, but not a coat. What is a coat? A coat is put on top of something. What is that something? It is that. Ruto and is a marriage impossible. You have seen already what they have said. You talked about it. So it is difficult to cobble an alliance between Ruto and Raila. Who are backers of Raila? Look at Atwoli. You think Atwoli will sit and watch? Murave, will think Murave will now go. You will now give Mr. Karanja the opportunity to cobble the best alliance that will sit. And believe me or not,
United Gamer.
Yes, you have been. If I want all of you, Miriam, and I want you to call my results. Call my results. call what I predicted about the counties. Walaya Mungu, wake up. If I did not study political science, catch me. Put it there. Even the counties that I said swing counties. Isn't it exactly what has happened? Look, Stephen, bring it up. Let the people know that there are people who study the subject, Jamen. Voting pattern is of Kenya. And so many people have copied it. Have you seen the way, Professor, how it is being used by students? We are teaching so many people. Swing. Didn't I tell you Turkana will swing? I put it in an account which will refuse, but it could swing. Didn't I tell you Bomet will swing? But I put it in a county that can reject. That is political science. So swing counties. Narok became a swing county. You sit down, and then go your Marakwet. Swang. It is swang. When you have been in this field, Jamen, you can't go wrong. Look, I hope Mr. Stephen is putting those things properly so that watu waangalie kama Max, kama ilikuwa Max, ilikuwa napata first degree, first class honors, because I would have got 90s, 80s, 89, 85, 90. Ndio professors, ndio you mark a student of master's degree, isn't it? Angalia hizo. That's another point. Cobbling alliances. It is like putting a Jew and a German. Raila and Ruto is like a Jew and a German. You put them in one house and tell them to talk. You might find none of them alive, or one of them has killed the other. So that one, you will give a chance to Karanja and Kirimi to join hands with Jared, and then they come for you. Because Professor Jared Onyaria group will swing to where Gema is. Some of them, some will divide and go where Baba is. But even when Baba raises those numbers, the Mudavadi number, the group of Western, when it turns on you and comes that allow Kenyatta, kwa watu hii wote, tutafutie mtu. Ndio. Utaona hata group ile ngine taanguka. And this group will win with authority, and they will get a president of their liking. Those Kirimi and the Karanja, the one you see watching quietly there. So what they do in the Kirimi is watching passively, but is deadly, calculating where to go, where to land, how to get it. The swing vote, the majority vote, the vote, the constituency, the hang constituency, all these are political science jargons. For example, you cannot rule out, and the only thing you can rule out is an alliance between Raila and it's like a Jew and a Hitler. You put them in a house, Hitler will finish the other. Who is going to be the president? One of you raised the question, and that was Douglas Kirimi. Who will be the president? Is it Raila? Can Raila allow to, can the people, Orengo allow Uhuru Raila to deputize Ruto, a Democrat? It is like water and oil. They become white, and you might think it is milk to drink. Then you drink it, or you start vomiting very quickly. Point number 4. Number 3, sorry. And Miriam, I don't know what my time is. I think I have 6 minutes or 7. Point number 3. Time has come for this country to start thinking of healing. Yesterday we raised it. Professor rejected. But they must heal after the BBI. It is time now to teach the people BBI 9 points. Don't run for campaign only. This is the time to teach people the 9 points in the 2 months or 3 months that we have. That we are uniting this country because we have bad ethos, ethnicity, corruption, bad elections, equality. You see, equality, inclusiveness. We need it. This is the time to campaign for a redemption healing strategy of Uhuru Kenyatta. Time is now, not tomorrow. Let those who have committed crimes ask for forgiveness. Look at those. The thing has come, the swing counties, Nakuru, Trans Nzoia, Kericho, Turkana, Narok, Bomet, Masanga. Tell me, muniambie. Miriam, that's why the studios at that station that have been stealing our material, we tell them first we're going to speak about this. Now they get stuff and they watch very attentively. The editors inside, the Kirimi has one friends, they watch very attentively what Kirimi is going to say. So this is it. That's why we are different. We are educating the people. This is an educational system. Now, even if we are 10 or 200 or 400 or 1,000 views or 2,000 views, don't worry. Those will spread, but the people will get the message. 9 points must begin now, so that Onyari is convinced that Mr. Ruto has gone to Kisii and said, I'm sorry. You cannot just be entering Nyamira and go to the platform, tell them as if nothing passed. Let's start doing a healing peace process now. Tell them, Jamen, all the things that happened, I'm very sorry. They should not come back to my country again. That's what President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing. Let's forget the past. But forgetting the past, you must first seek remorsefulness. Like the RRA commanders that I returned to Uganda. Over 100,000 kidnapped, abducted younger men supposed to be in the RRA. I returned them. They asked for forgiveness. They are living together in northern Uganda with the people they raped. They are living together in northern Uganda with the people they killed, whose parents they killed. There is nothing going on wrong in my country, in northern Uganda. Hallelujah, God bless me. You can insult me, but you will not insult me beyond that. Even God will refuse. Because I delivered a healing process. Yes. Yes. Yes, I did it. People healed. How many NRA combatants in Uganda have picked guns to go back to fight? None. Show me one. They have become commanders. They have become commanders in the UPDF, in Mogadishu. Hallelujah. In Equatorial Guinea. Hallelujah. In Central African Republic. Hallelujah. And the youth in South Sudan, there are plenty of them. There are plenty of them, and that is the truth. President Museveni will not say there is no truth there. Nobody in Africa who knows the history of our amalgamated army will say they are not there. They are. They are my people. And they have been integrated integrated under DD process, demobilization, integration, and so on, of people into society, DDI, or whatever. I have forgotten some of those words. So that is a healing process. They came back, they said, we are sorry, we cut your limbs, we cut your lips, we raped your wife, but forgive me. I've come back to settle in my part in northern Uganda. They are there. Some have become real commanders up to the top. They are the best fighters, believe me or not, Musa. They are the best fighters. Those younger men are best fighters. They are the one keeping the UPDF, and they have been integrated in the UPDF. They are not discriminated. They are not killed because the process was transparent. Healing process is important. Lastly, I have 2 minutes left, or I've passed the time, Miriam, but you had also eaten part of my time. Lastly, guess what? If you look at the newspapers of today, Miriam mentioned 3 things. He knows, he doesn't know, he's not aware. Where is William Ruto's position on the BBI? That is a very important question, Miriam, that your panel should even come out openly and say, I think the direction is this. Can I give you a shocker? William Ruto has plan B. Thank you very much. I don't know if you ask me to explain plan B, you can ask me later. But William Ruto, looking at the question you have asked, he can't support, he supports, he's not aware. If you have studied psychology and sociology, the anthropological difficult traits, what we call anthropological traits, ezitambula mu musaayi. Sorry, I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to the Ugandan. Yeah, but there are Ugandans here listening to me. Ezitambula mu musaayi. Wacha niseme Kiswahili. Damu ambayo inatembea ndani ya binadamu. Damu ya binadamu. Traits. Anthropological traits of a liar. Anthropological traits of a conman. Anthropological traits of a violent guy. Anthropological traits of a man who can finish you. Anthropological traits of a man who has ego. They always look like, they walk like, they look like, they walk like, is it a lame duck? They all walk the same in the one direction. They point to one thing. They always, and mark this. If you are doing intelligence in Kenya, mark this one. They have plan B. Thank you. They have plan B. They come. If I was an intelligence officer in Kenya, I would begin by looking at plan B, not at BBI. Look at plan B. I am using the Ugandan Nduru. So don't blame me. I've also become my original type of I don't want to speak like Museveni, but you know, all these things always happen like that. I'm making an alarm. There's a plan B. Don't you see the guy? He's not bothered about your BBI. He's not bothered about the people who ate his money. The people who ate the fare. You know the fare. What walikula fare. He's not bothered. You, for example, if today is his own county, has it voted? Has it voted? Has Mandago voted? Miriam, has UG voted?
Not yet.
Mandago,
Not yet.
where Ruto is born? Not yet. Not yet. Why? Isn't it where Sudi, Kostani, there's one MP, the Indian, who has refused that plan B. And be careful. Isn't it the Indian man who has refused the plan B? Where are the MPs in that place? Where do they belong? They belong to plan B. He doesn't. What they told you yesterday, whether BBI passes or it doesn't pass, they are not concerned. So a man like that has got plan B. So any strategist handling this post BBI analysis and handling this post Kenyan amendment of the bill 2020 analysis must look for plan B. What is Ruto's plan B? And when the panel comes back to give me the answers, I would have gone to the market to buy. I'm trying to look for hardy chicken up here in London to see whether I can eat some chicken. I'm here for all your ears. Thank you very much. If those points are not the ones you have been on this panel, then add there more. But those are the points. And every morning we must educate our people. We must tell them what we are. We have a vision. It's not talking from morning up to evening. Let's point out what is our vision today. And our vision are those four: ideology, coupling alliances in Kenya, healing the process, and is Ruto having plan B? The answer is yes. Miriam, you were right. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone to follow up what Doctor has said? Professor? Professor?
What Dr. has said, I totally concur with him. That the politics of this country, we don't have any ideologies from some of the leaders, apart from the few who have done it consistently. Like the Prime Minister, you can at least follow his pattern. He stand to fight for social justice. A while ago, I was saying that Miriam Mbwamwitu, the fox, the wild dog, it will never remain a wild dog whenever you bring home. So what I only need to do with this plan B or not plan B, Dr. Masanga, that Kenya is not like any other country in the world. The world cannot sit and watch you coming with brand B. What I know of Dr. William Samuel Ruto is he sees the opportunity, Dr. Masanga, to start this early campaign. That's why he's not so much interested, and he has used it effectively because he has been going round, misinforming people, not misinforming people that the BBI is bad, because it will never be bad because it is bringing people together. It is bringing that we share prosperity together. We do away with divisive election. But he has used to go every part of this country, Miriam, in the form of giving wheelbarrows, merely to launch his campaign. So surely that's why you see that whether it passes or it doesn't pass, it gave him the opportunity to go around the country and submit.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam, and also what Daktari has said about the coupling alliances in this country. It is true, and I have said before that Raila cannot deputize William Ruto, and William Ruto cannot deputize the right Prime Minister, the right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga for another 10 years. None of them can come together. They cannot be able to come down from the plane or pedestal where they have placed themselves, including where history has placed Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga cannot come down where people think that they can come together. And Raila cannot become a prime minister under the administration of William Ruto. Neither can William Ruto do that. So at this point also, another point that I write about what Dr. said is about the healing process. At the end of the day, if we don't heal our country, if we don't heal what ails our country as a people, we are ended for a worse situation than we are today. We have seen people who are not even interested in the BBI process. We have seen people who are not interested in the hearing process that is being spearheaded by the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga and also President Uhuru Kenyatta. People that are not concerned with what concerns other people. People that are not concerned with what concerns the heart and soul of this nation. People that are not concerned with reforms in this nation. Reforms that are going to change the geography and demographics of our country. Reforms that are going to put our country into an unerring path. These are people that Doctor is saying, and I'm saying, and also other people are saying, have a plan B. And which is this plan B? Is it for better of our country or for their own selfish ambitions? It is for their own selfish ambitions. And this is what Kenyans need to see. If you don't stand for any reforms in this nation, how are you going to transform this country? For example, today, if you want us to go to an election with the same IBC, same chairman, same junior officers who continue disrespecting Kenyans by sending information that is not favorable to any sides, any neutral information, because an electoral commission in this country should be unbiased and also should be non-partisan, should not be partisan for any other side, and also we should be able to have an electoral commission that is supported by either of the sides, which is a very, very, very neutral electoral commission. So I think, Miriam, on the question of healing this nation, there are people who are not interested because they have other things they want to do in this nation, but we shall not allow them to continue to do those things like Professor said, because at the end of the day, we have a moral duty to protect the integrity, the soil, and the flag of our nation. Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Douglas. Musa.
To me, Miriam, it will be very simple. I will take point number 1 of Dr. Matsanga. That's ideology. I think apart from his dad, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, and now his son, Raila Amolo Odinga, and some leaders who got assassinated in 80s like Josiah Mwangi Kariuki, Robert Unko, and the very one the President Kenya never had, Tom Mboya. These are the leaders we saw, some sense of ideologies being inherited into them. You remember Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was a very staunch African socialist and communist. He believed one can earn money according to your needs. You cannot have money beyond your desire. And that is what his son even went to inherit. That liberation we see from Jaramogi being inherited into Raila, from the first liberation to the second liberation. It's something which, our leaders, especially young people on the ground, should be yearning to do. We've been discouraged. Nowadays, Dr. Matsanga, for a young man to be known in Kenyan politics, they must insult Raila Amolo Odinga so that they get elected. We know very well it has been happening with very one of our own, the MP for Nyali, Muhammad Ali, aka Jichopevu, who has been attacking the Prime Minister left, right, and center simply because now he is supporting Deputy President William Ruto. I believe ideologies should be the fourth arm of the government. It should be what inspires and what, translates into what can be done. And BBI can be one of those ideologies, the same as it has been with the Nyayo Socialism paper, with Sessional Paper 10 of 1965, the development paper. This BBI can be turned into that because for a very long time, Kenyan development policy have been derived from the Sessional Paper 10 of 1965 of African philosophy of socialism and development. We can take the second stage, and maybe in writing future books, we say the same way it was now session paper 10 of 1965 being inherited by Vision 2030 by Mwai Kibaki. Then as one of the things to relieve Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy, and maybe the 10 years we've lived as a first through the devolution, this can be done. It can be a defining document, Miriam. It can be something which everyone can take as a example. The problem with Africa is that we produce a lot of good policies only for it not to be implemented. And I will finish by saying the only reason now Deputy President William Ruto, if he becomes the president, he wants to eradicate the BBI, it's simply because he wants to justify the role he played, and he wants to prove to his voters on how he had to eradicate them. That is not the way. Leave some legacies and leave some documents untouched. The same way what has been happening in Tanzania, no matter how arrogant Magufuli has been, he has never tampered with Ujamaa paper. When you go down to those districts, Ulayas, and down there to the local government, Ujamaa is still very, very thriving because they don't want to eradicate Mwalimu Julius Nyerere's ideology. And the same should be replicated to this country, Miriam. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Javan.
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And on issues of ideology and looking at the character of Deputy President William Ruto, he is still the person who wanted this country to remain in one-party state. He opposed the 2010 constitution. Therefore, he doesn't stand for reforms in his political journey. Therefore, it is also predictable that he will not support the BBI because that is who he is. And a BBI being an extension of reforms in this country will not go that route because he and reforms, they don't go in the same direction. He wants to remain where he gains politically. And that is why today he is supporting the Constitution 2010. He opposed it, but now he is supporting it because it's favoring him. He is a deputy president. That is why he wants maybe to become the president with the same constitution that has some powers and that has the winner take his all, so that he can control this country. He is a political student of Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, the second president of this country. And Daniel Moi governed this country from 80s in a very dictatorial manner. Maybe that is the route that deputy president want to take this country if he happens to become the president. On the issue of having a coalition between the deputy president and former prime minister, as I said earlier, that will be giving a third force, a third alliance, a very big kickstart, because at the end of the day, we'll see the Gema uniting, the Western coming together, and other regions that feel in one way or the other they have been left out of governance, and they will see that by supporting the Mount Kenya, who will be sidelined by Ruto and Raila, to be the best option for them to get in governance. And finally, Miriam, as a country, we need to heal from the effects of the post-election violence that we have been having in this country. And that will happen if we have leaders and the perpetrators being remorseful and trying by all means to ensure that those things don't reoccur in future. But Miriam is saddening that we have leaders who are issuing new threats to the people in Rift Valley. And when you touch that topic of post-violence elections, people get bitter, people get emotional. Therefore, it is high time, as we go through the Building Bridges initiative, we build bridges between the victims of 2007 and 1992 and 1987 election with the leaders who caused all that problem, so that at least we'll have people coming out of IDP camps, we'll have people relocating back to their land, and we'll have people healing. Because at the end of the day, emotional distress is very difficult to heal. You might get your land back, but emotionally, if you're not healed, you not live a better life. Therefore, we need to have emotional distress aspect of all these struggles being dealt with, and the people to heal and to pour out what is in their heart. And that will come when we have leaders that are remorseful and that are not willing to have that route taken again in this country. Thank you.
All right, it's a minute past 11 a.m. Doctor, do you have anything else that you'd like to add to what any of the panelists had said?
I don't want to enter much of your time, although you hammered my 14 minutes. I will not revenge. I will leave it a healing process. I would ask Stephen just to play the advert in this 1 minute before you close down, that he should be giving you briefing space while you are conducting your program so that people can have time to drink water. Stephen and the production team, please play that and see how I've reconciled and forgiven some people and see where they came from. Play that clip of PLO Lumumba and the rest. Thank you. Otherwise, we have summarized it very well. There is nothing else to talk about. Let's watch that clip and then we disappear in our various coffee shops. Because I know people are going to grab coffee, Miriam will grab coffee, and that's it. Stephen.
It is ridiculous and it is against the laws of nature that we can have somebody sitting pretty who takes home more money than the credible entrepreneur who is doing actual production of goods and services.
We always say it as it is. It is only in this country that when a thief is arrested, you hear elders from their tribe saying, he is our son and he is our thief.
If you are deviant
Yes.
and I call you leader,
Yes.
probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
The youth that I meet and work with here, you know, we call them the millennials and X's and Y's, this and that. They don't necessarily want to live like their fathers and grandfathers,
Yes.
do business like their fathers and grandfathers. They're more independent, they're better educated, and they're the ones that are making everything move in this region.
We look at the issues, we talk about issues that impact people's lives in Africa.
The African peoples themselves continue to cheer bad leaders, and because they cheer them on, they continue to be misled. Let me ask you, Doctor, would you rather be somebody who does not enjoy so much freedom but you are rich?
Yes.
Or you'd rather be poor who you are actually imprisoned by the poverty itself?
My goal is not to come here and say, I want the majority ownership, I want to own this, I want to own that, I want to do this. My goal is we all make money and we're all happy, and I help build a big business here.
Punchline is for Africa with Africa from Africa.